So in this section of Romans, Paul has been making a long and extended argument that both Jew and Gentile are under the judgment of God. Chapter 2 has been really devoted to arguing with the Jew who thinks that they are exempt from God's judgment. Paul is convincing them that they are not. He's convincing them that the Jew is just as much under the same condemnation as the Gentile. We come to the end of the chapter, verse 29. Paul has said what a Jew is not in verse 28. That is one who is just merely outwardly circumcised. In verse 28, then, he talks about what a Jew is. But he is a Jew who is one inwardly. And circumcision is of the heart, by the Spirit, not by the letter. But his praise is not from people, but from God. So the true Jew is one who has been transformed inwardly. The circumcision is an inward circumcision, not an external circumcision, which had value, as Paul said, but it's a circumcision that's done by the Spirit. It's supernatural. It's not something that we can perform. It's not something that we can cause to happen by all of our law keeping and rule keeping. It's not by the letter, is the way Paul puts it. And his praise is not from people, but from God. So again, this kind of change is not a physical circumcision of the heart, not a physical circumcision, but a circumcision of the heart, a supernatural circumcision, one made by the Spirit. The outward rite, the outward act of circumcision, like all outward acts, are only of value when they reflect the inward reality of a soul that's been separated from sin unto God. That's the point of it. It says way back in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 16, circumcise your heart and do not stiffen your neck any longer. This is what the warning was to the Jews in ancient times. Chapter 30 of Deuteronomy. Moreover, the Lord your God will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your descendants to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, so that you may live. That's verse 6 of Deuteronomy 30. This was always God's plan. The Spirit and the letter are pointing out to us, I guess, that salvation results from God's work, not ours. God's inward surgery, not our outward surgery. Such people are pleased and receive praise, not from the people around them. Those people who are separated to God will always suffer at the hands of the people around them. We saw that with Jesus. We see that with Paul and the apostles. We see it to our own age. But their praise is not from people, but from God. So as we finish chapter 2, I encourage you to take some time to read through that chapter, first two chapters again, and just reflect on the incredible thing that God has done, the supernatural thing that he has done in our lives through simple faith in Christ. If you're a Jew who now trusts Jesus as your Messiah, he has rescued you from this kind of stinking thinking that has limited you and kept you and made you think that you were somehow exempt from God's judgment because you were a Jew. He's delivered you from that lie, and he's brought you to the base of the cross and offered you Christ. If you're a Gentile who trusts Jesus as the Messiah, think how far he's brought you. Someone without the law, someone who only had a flawed and weak conscience, how God has changed you and supernaturally changed your heart so that you love the Lord and that you love the Lord's people. Brothers and sisters, think on these things or dwell on them, and I think what you'll find is this more you spend time reflecting on your lostness and being saved, how more you'll appreciate the supernatural work that God has done in your salvation. God bless you. God bless you this week as you think about these verses, and God bless you as you go through Romans and see the miracle, really, of salvation that he's going to reveal to us in Romans chapter 3.